Welcome back to a slice of news where I cut you off a slice of news. In a unsurprising move, our president has voiced a desire to potentially end the practice of mail-in voting. I think we all know that facts are an anathema to him, and the reality that we all live in is one separated from whatever fantasy land he lives in. But he believes very strongly that it is a system which is too costly and too easily full of fraud. And of course, those are not true. I mean, they simply are not substantiated with reality and facts. Mail-in voting has been a practice that goes back almost 2 centuries at this point. It's been a way for people who were in situations where they could not go into an in-person voting place to cast their vote, to still have their vote counted, counted, and valued, because as an American citizen, it is our right to vote, and it is a privilege to vote, and every vote deserves to be counted, regardless of whether it's cast at an in-person polling place or as a mail-in vote. And of course, the narrative is that mail-in voting has to go away because it unfairly benefits Democrats, and that's one of the reasons he wants to get rid of it, because he wants to take away their advantage. But that's, of course, nonsense. Both people on the Democrat and Republican side have cast mail-in ballots for, nearly 2 centuries, as I said before, that it is their right to have their vote counted no matter what. One group that has depended on mail-in ballots are service people who are serving overseas. They do not stop having their right to vote just because they're not physically present in the continental United States on Election Day. So they have to depend on mail-in votes to get their vote cast. And they have that right, and the notion that he will take it away would be taking away all of their ability to vote, Democrat or Republican. That would hurt everyone. And it is simply not something that we should accept, because it is unacceptable to take people's right to vote away from them purely because they are unable to cast a vote in person. And of course, he loves, and his supporters love to say, mail-in voting, it's full of fraud. But the reality is that it simply isn't. They've done numerous looks into, fraud in mail-in voting, and they just don't find it. That this idea that mail-in voting is fraud or it can lead to fraud is not substantiated with the facts. They have put in cases and they've come in without any evidence to support the claim of fraud. The reality is that mail-in voting is very secure. It has numerous levels of security, and they simply aren't easy to be falsified. Fraud just isn't present. And another opposition to the mail-in votes is, it costs too much, it's too costly. We have to do it because of waste and fraud. Their favorite waste and fraud. There's no fraud and there's no waste. It actually has been shown to drop election costs, not increase them, since, of course, increased mail-in votes means less people having to staff in-person polling places and reducing logistics during the voting time. So there's no waste, there's no fraud, it's a pillar of the right to vote. People have the right to cast their vote, no matter be it in person or mail-in. Taking it away is an affront to the right to vote, and it's very clearly just a tactic to try to disenfranchise voters who might not vote Republican, and to not only hurt the chances of a Democratic candidate winning, but to increase the chances of Republican candidates winning. Because I think we've seen time and time again that increasingly Republicans can seemingly only win if they lie and cheat and steal. They can't win an election fairly. And this is yet another example of, if we can't win fair, we'll win dishonest. And so we should not be okay with this notion of taking away the ability to have mail-in votes. Whether or not he's going to follow through on it is yet to be seen. I think there actually may be a very good chance that this is once again all talk, and when it comes to action, he will not, and really cannot, pull it off. So it's really all just yet another posturing and attempt to look like the big strong man who does things, when really we have one of the most ineffectual presidents in our nation's entire history, really. So we have to be united in this messaging that all of the rhetoric and messaging against mail-in voting is based on either outright lies or just hoping that people will not realize just how vital mail-in voting is for everyone, regardless of political affiliation. So we will wait and see if dear leader allows the populace to keep their right to vote if they're overseas on election day. I am hoping that it is preserved, because it is very important. It is something, as I said, dates back a long time, and to get rid of it now is absolute nonsense. So that is the episode for today, and until next time, I've been your host, Mr. Slice, and I will cut you off another slice of news.